Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today we continue our music theory series right here, premium.busyworksbeats.com. It's like the sixth time me filming this video, so I need you to smash the like button to share secrets with you. Today I'm going to show you about the minor hexatonic scale. Hexa means six, tonic means tone, so six tone scale. I use the minor hexatonic because it sounds cool on guitar and piano. So let me show you what it sounds like in FL and how I used it. Now you can use it too. So this is like a new discovery for me. I never use a scale. To achieve this scale, let's go to chord stamps. Let's go to natural minor. And I'm just going to start at C to keep it simple. Now what we're doing is it's basically the natural minor scale, but without the sixth. So it's first, let me highlight these notes. It's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. We're not using the sixth. So it's the natural minor scale without the sixth. That's what creates the minor hexatonic scale. So it sounds really good. It sounds like this. Okay, so I'm gonna up the BPM, or not the BPM, but the thing a little bit to help me process these plugins. These plugins are heavy. So let's go to this new window. Now my thing is, again, when I start, I always map out the scale. So let's go to scale map. Under chord stamps, it's added at C. Now remember, hit Alt-G to ungroup, go to the sixth note within the scale and just delete it. Then we're gonna add C on top. So I'm showing you how I would do this from scratch, so you have all the steps. I'm gonna turn the volume down. I'm gonna hit Control to highlight, hit Shift, left click and drag to pull this up. Okay, so now you have the octaves here for you to reference. I always reference, whenever I use new scales, I need the octave on the side. So let's go to snap to grid 1/3 beat for guitar. And this is what creates that unique sound. Let's hit Alt, left click to restore the velocity. And now you just write in thirds. Now I'm using my brain to give me the notes, but I'm gonna start at the actual root note, which is C. There's no formula. I'm just going up and down the scale using different intervals. Let's do the fourth. So C to F is the fourth, and then let's do C again. And now if I want a certain articulation for this specific plugin, I have to use what are called key switches. Don't worry about this. This is only for this plugin. So I have to switch the key switch to create a palm mute. Okay, so we have fourths, and then let's do the fifth. Let's start at, let's do F, and let's do a fifth, which is 7 semitones up. So that's gonna be C. And then let's go back to F. See, my ear wants to hear that dun, but that's my blues type training. I'm used to R&B. See, my ear wants to hear the half step, so let's skip that. Now my brain keeps forgetting that we're using triplets, so it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now I found that when I'm using triplets, I like big interval jumps. So simple little jumps don't really make sense to my ear. And I like to pivot off of the notes that we've already used. So in the beginning, we went C, F, C, and I pivoted off the F, went back to C. Now we're back to F. So I can keep repeating that because those are perfect fourths relations. So let's go to G. Okay, so it could be more creative, but what I'm gonna do is copy this. Now here I want this note to be different. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a technique in a little bit after I'm done writing this. There we go. I like that a lot. So let's grab the other guitar, which is a bass guitar. Let's copy these notes, hit Control C, Control V to paste. Now what I'm gonna do is create a difference between that guitar and this bass sound. Now I'm gonna do it usually at the ends or the turnaround. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, but we're gonna pull this down an octave. Then I'm gonna go dun dun dun. Okay, so this is cool because in the hexatonic, I found it easy to have two things going on without it feeling conflicting. And I also need to give it, oh, it has the key switch, okay. See how this is going down, the other one's going up, so it's a nice contrast. We're taking that from counterpoint. At the end, let's change it up. So let's see here. Let's go, where are we at here? We're at D sharp. Let's just do like a perfect fifth. So let's do 5 semitones down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's drop this down to A. See what it sounds like. I like that. So I'm gonna switch it so that these play the same notes. And we only have changes at the end. Also, now I'm trying not to get too deep into this plugin specifically because everybody uses a different plugin, but this plugin has what are called articulations, and the magic of the scale I found comes with the articulations that you use. So for example, I can do harmonics. Let's do C0. So in FL Studio, if a key switch says C0, it's really C2. It's +2, whatever you're whatever octave you're trying to be in. I don't know why it is +2. It just is +2. And the key switch has to happen before the note. So if you use plugins with key switches, that's how you use those, okay? For the 0.5% of people who use them. So what? Okay, so it adds a different tone. Now I'm gonna go do. Okay, so I want that same articulation at the end. Okay, hit Alt left click to drag the notes within, to nudge the notes. So now we have a nice balance between left and the right. Now I have another instrument here, which is a piano. So I'm gonna take the same structure from the guitar and add it to the piano. So all I'm gonna do is just use triplets, same thing as the guitar. Now to switch this up and make it not sound basic, we're gonna switch up the octave. But let's pull it down an octave, control down. Now notice the piano's playing long, whereas the guitars are playing short. Okay, but I'm gonna pull this up for demonstration purpose because you need to see the scale. So let's map out the first chord. You don't need to be this complex. So I'm just gonna add what's called a 7th chord. We're gonna add the root note and then skip every other note within the scale until we have 4 notes. That creates a 7th chord. So we're at here, so we have C, skip D, let's go to E flat, then we have G, that's C minor, and continuing in the scale, remember we don't have the 6, so it's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th would usually be here, and then 7th would be okay, now I'm going to take the 3rd and pull it up an octave. Okay, so before I start inverting notes and moving stuff around, let me just write out the chords first, and then I'll start flipping the notes and revoicing the chord. Okay, so let's see here. Make sure all the notes are the same. They should be. Now I want to go dun. Okay, so I want that top note to be G in this case. Let's pull down that A, B flat. So let's consider this the same chord. I'm just gonna take that top note and pull it down. So it's the same notes, top note pulled down. Now to make this more tense, okay, I'm gonna use different distances and intervals here. That's very happy sounding. So I'm gonna just move notes around. This could take you as long as you want it to take. I'm not gonna sit here for a decade and bore you to tears. So let's just copy these notes. I like the chords, but it could be a little more customized. And we teach all this in our premium.busyworksbeats.com. We have music theory courses. We teach you how to voice chords and make melody. Now I'm gonna go dun. My ear wants to go dun dun. Dun. So I'm trying out different bass notes. I like F more than I like G. But it makes this feel like we're not changing, so I need to figure out how to make this feel like we're changing. So one technique I like to use, let's say these two chords feel too similar. We want it to feel like it's different. I'll switch the chord type. So if this is all mangled because we've moved it 1,000 times. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is a minor 7th chord with F in the bass. So what we could do is switch this to a major by taking the root note and the 5th and pulling it down 1. Okay, hitting shift down. So what this does now is make the 3rd 4 semitones away. So now we have a major, but the problem is we don't have that same top tone of G. So let's hit control down to revoice, or just leave it at where it is. I kind of like this chord, even though what makes it sound bluesy and gospel-y is because we're using 2 notes that are not in this scale. And I just like that pull and push effect when you switch chord types. So you can learn a lot. So we're dun, dun. So since I made that a little more complex at the end, dun, 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 I want this to spread out so where G is the top note. So this is a minor 7th chord. And let's add, I don't know what this would be. Let's go 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So that's just the octave. Okay, I didn't realize G was here. We already have that in the octave. So it's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, which would be G. This question is, how do we thicken this up? We need something in the middle here. And I like the note D. So I'm adding these little notes to lead the ear to make the chord feel more polished. Now, technically, I want to pull this F. Okay, and then I want it to slide up to the note D, hit Alt, left click to drag the notes around. And that's going to give it that jazzier. Now notice how I'm adding notes as I'm going. When you write chords in real melody, you're not just, everything isn't known right away. You're going to find your way through it. So it just sounds really cool. Let's add this. That's our first one. So let's go from the first to the second style. Show you how diverse the scale is. I can hear some crazy hip hop drums, some neo soul, R&B drums. This has a different bounce. I don't have any drums like that, but that's how you do the drums. This is a hard loop. I could listen to that for days. That's a very good loop. So the hexatonic scale opened me up to so many avenues. I'm going to give you the project files below, and I'm going to print out the loop for those who don't have FL. That way I want to hear you guys flip this loop. The loop is cool. So I'm going to print this loop, and I'm going to save the project files for you. Just go to BusyWorksBeats. Actually, how am I going to give you the project? Go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. Let's go big screen. All right, so now you know how to use the hexatonic. That was a minor hexatonic scale. It creates these really cool ways of moving through music that don't sound constrained and restricted. So that's the super secret scale that I've been using lately to get me really cool results. Again, go to premium.busyworksbeats.com if you want to learn more about music theory. For these project files in particular, just go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. I'll have those for you there. All right, peace out, guys. Like the video and smash the subscribe button. What else is there? Peace. Tell your friends. Bye.